Meanwhile, the National Assembly has reaffirmed its commitment to comprehensive electoral reforms ahead of the 2027 general elections. Now, lawmakers say the move is part of ongoing efforts to strengthen Nigeria's democracy and rebuild citizens' trust in the electoral process. Now, these assurances come during a public hearing on the bill to repeal the Electoral Act of 2022 and enact the Electoral Act 2025, held at the National Assembly in Abuja. Here's a report on this. Take a look. We will bring you that report in our subsequent bulletin. In the meantime, let's go in depth into all that's happening with the electoral reforms. And to do that, we have with us Todimu Ige. Is a lawyer and he joins us live virtually. Mr. Ige, it's good to have you join us on the program. I have to ask you, is INEC's proposal for a timeline amendment a priority right now?
Well, it might not be a priority, but INEC ordinarily should work on perfecting its logistics, because over time we have seen a situation where voting materials and a lot of complaints as regards logistics, counting of votes, sending those votes via the appropriate channels have been issues. If they can resolve that, even within the extended timelines that they have had, they've not been able to meet up with that standard, and now they are seeking to breach that time. Then, one would begin to wonder that are they really prepared for this?
The National Assembly has made this proposal. INEC seems to be saying that it will work and it will just shorten time and make things go smoothly. But is there a chance that indeed all election petitions can be resolved before May if the amendment is passed?
Well, if when there's a will, there's a way. And the truth of it is that this is what we have been agitating for in respect of dispensation of justice. What can happen is that special courts will be set up and there will be accelerated hearing. And when this is done, it also means that as opposed to people spending state resources, being in office illegally, all this will be eliminated. And of course, it's a step in the right direction. I feel that if this is made to work out, it would stem election malpractices. It will go a long way to stem election malpractices, because you know that if you conduct a malpractice, if you get into office illegally, the chances of you being sworn in are very limited and minute. So it's a step in the right direction.
I do have to ask you, though, when we look at electoral reforms and what should be at the top of the list in terms of priorities, there are issues of the technology that's being used. I mean, we've seen where beavers had failed to accreditate some voters during the by-elections and off-cycle elections that we saw the entirety of last year and even this year. We've also seen issues of diaspora voting, as well as, robust register and increasing the tally when it comes to turnout, election turnout, people voting. Should this be shown on board? Should we not be looking at diaspora voting, the technology itself and transparency and the beavers and all of that? And IREV?
I agree with your position, and the truth of it is why I agree with you, basically, is that if you look at the trend of our elections over the years, there's been a lot of voter apathy. Why? Because people don't believe in the credibility of our elections. And how did we get here? As a result of the technology, as a result of the cumbersome process of being registered, as a result of logistic issues. And if we are saying that we want a credible election, we want people to participate, we are even talking about people from diaspora to participate because they have a right as Nigerians, then we must, of course, look into how logistics must be adequately catered for. I must make that a priority. There is no point abridging the time when there is no logistics on ground, because it means that it's an invitation to more chaos when they are pressured within a very small timeline to do the needful. So I align myself with you in respect of ensuring that the process is well spelled out. The technology is not rocket science. It is something that should be tested. We have more than 4 years to test, to improve, to unlearn, relearn, and of course, make the system better. There should be a test run of it. And I believe that if INEC is really, really mindful of getting this done, we would get it right.
I'm glad we're talking about logistics here, because even other parties and critics, some have, opposed this proposal that is being raised by the National Assembly, and they have cited concerns about logistics, but most importantly, judicial preparedness. What do you say to that? Shortening the window of political or electoral disputes. Do you also agree with that line of saying that logistics and judicial preparedness is too short a time to extend or to reduce the window?
Well, the truth of it is that when it comes to logistics, do we have the manpower in Nigeria with our population? I believe that we have the manpower. It is just the political will. It is just the interest to ensure that nobody is disenfranchised. Everybody has the right to exercise their capacity and right to vote, which is enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And, that's when it comes to logistics. INEC can begin to, they have enough time to ensure, they make use of corpers. We can make use of a lot of things can be done. There can be volunteers. There can be so many things that can be done to ensure that logistics is adequately taken care of. That is on one side. When it comes to the judiciary, the election, the Electoral Act usually prescribes timeline for this, and bringing it forward is not, these matters ought to be speedily dispensed with, because, as a matter of fact, when people cross carpet, when people conduct an election fraud and they are in office for 5 years, for 3 years, and at the end of the third year, they are saying that the court has removed them. What happens to the state resources that has been expended? What happens to this person who has occupied the office illegally? What happens to all the time that they have spent? So I believe that we don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. What we should do, and which is a step in the right direction, abridge the time where we spend in court wasting time, and this person is operating illegally in the office. Let's make it shorter, and everybody can submit their evidence. The court can fast track the hearing, and we'll get justice.
All right. I must say thank you for taking out the time to join us, Mr. Ige. Mr. Todimu Ige. He's a lawyer that joined us to give us insight as new proposals are being made regarding our electoral process. Once again, thank you.